Hey, my name is Steve Hoffa. Thank you so much for checking us out. On this podcast highlight, kind of the chaos of life and whether maybe your life's too chaotic or you're just being irresponsible and where that line is. This is the Standing Still Podcast. 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 Here's one thing that I wanted to bring up, and it wasn't even, I mean, it's related somewhat, but it was something that I kind of thought about is when I was, like, let's say 18, 19, maybe into 20, more 18, 19, like right out of high school.
Last year.
Bill, I love you. So, okay. I was I excelled at, like, hey, if I said.
Excelled at something?
Carl.
I'm listening.
That gray caterpillar growing on your upper lip looks worse than ever. No, I'm just
He excelled at talking. I know
good.
that. Jesus.
I used to be really shy, actually. And a little chunky kid, too.
You realize we're in a room with black curtains, right? I'm just saying that.
I used to live in a field and dream about living in a room with black curtains. Okay. So I excelled. I really mean it, Carl. I excelled. What I really excelled at when I was trying to bring up is if I said I was going to be somewhere, I was going to be there on time. And I'm not talking about not even a job. It was just going to be like, hey, can you meet me at the school? Yeah, I'll be there at 5:45. I'm there at 5:30. Like every time. You know what I mean? And I just remember I was getting really frustrated because it was like friends except for Will. No, Will's a good
all
guy.
friends.
Like friends and just everybody was like, man, I'm always lagging it. People are flaking. Like it was just like, man, this is super frustrating. To the point where you have that moment you're like, maybe I should just start flaking. Like it's not really paying off for me being like this. Part of it was I didn't have a whole lot going on. I was working a part-time job going to school that I didn't really like going to school. I never really did. But I was going to junior college, working part-time at Party City and Pizza Hut, just pulling rank. But as you get more things going on, I've gotten worse at that, right? I've been late to work a lot, even if it's 60 seconds. You know what I mean? Once I get there and I'm going, I'm great. But being 30 seconds, 60 seconds late.
Never admit that on camera, by the way, that you're late.
Right. I'm sending this podcast to your boss.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
It's fine. He was 10 minutes late today, and he left me. So.
Oh, great. Throw him under the bus now.
What's his name? So I get to call his boss.
Yeah. It'll be on.
So where, obviously,
on your unemployment check. Don't worry.
It becomes more difficult to follow through on your promises and being that punctual and being on time and just, I would say, just having that character, right? The more you get busy, the more everything, blah, 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 it's hard to be there and have that character. And I used to always be so frustrated, right? So my question is, as you kind of ramp up from not having things to do, so like, okay, how am I trying to, there's a ratio of like how much things you, like how busy your life is and how kind of chaotic it is. And then the second part of that ratio is how good your word is and how, you know, you're on time, you're a good, like, you can respect yourself. You stay true. You didn't, not even so much lie, but you're like, oh, I probably should have said something there. Or, you know what I mean? Or when you get out of your truck, you're like, I'll get that tomorrow. Like little stuff like that where it's like, no, I'm going to get it today. Just being driven, I guess is what you can call it. So there's that ratio of how chaotic your life gets with just life in general and then still being the man you want to be or person, ladies. When you start to get more chaotic and life starts coming at you harder, when it, you know what I mean, and maybe that starts to fade a little bit, where's that ratio of when you need to say, okay, my life is too chaotic? Or is, like, how do you distinguish, okay, my life's too chaotic, or, okay, I need to just step up and be a man about this and start being on time and saying what I'm going to do? And not, because I feel like a lot of people say yes to everything. And then they always just flake half the time. You know what I mean? There's a lot of those people in this world.
Oh, yeah. Just tell you what you want to hear.
They love the idea of going to hang out on Saturday, but they're not going to go hang out with you on Saturday. Like, they know that. You know what I mean? There's a lot of those kind of people. And so where's that line, do you think? Obviously, this is just talk. You know, there is no answer.
There's an answer.
Carl, did you learn this? Did you learn this in your honors English class in high school?
Bingo.
Wood shop 3.
You always notice how the laziest guy on the job site is the fastest guy to clean up to go home.
Yep.
He starts off slow, works slower all day long. But, man, the minute you say, let's start cleaning up, man, that guy's speed racer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I've always been the boss since, like, 24 on. I've always, ran jobs. And I used to tell the guys I worked with, if you can't get your ass to work on time, don't come. I don't need you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I mean, if you don't need your job that bad, I mean, this is what you guys are doing for a living. Okay? If you can't get there on time, I get every once in a while there's traffic. But when you're stuck in traffic every day, make an adjustment.
Right.
Leave a half hour early to miss the traffic.
Mm-hmm.
You can use that excuse once. The second time's tiring, and the third time, you just go find another job.
Mm-hmm.
If I can't depend on you being there every day and being there on time, then that's screwing my day up.
Right.
And everybody else around it. You know what I mean? Especially when you're on jobs that have deadlines. Bill knows.
Yeah.
We got to have this done. Oh, my car didn't start. I didn't have any money to get to work. But I was okay to go to the bar last night for 6 hours.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The lazy man works twice as hard. You're going to be there for 8 hours. You might as well work and bust your ass and learn. Get something done. You'll feel way better about yourself when you walk out, go home.
Right.
The day will go by 10 times faster.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, you'll feel like accomplished, like you did something.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than, dude, I just fucked off all day at work and, man, my boss didn't even notice. Trust me, we notice. We're not stupid.
Right.
We show up, hey, how come nothing's done?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I had Steve and Will on the job. Will just came from bringing all of his beer samples over. And they're both hammered,
Each person took 2 shots, and now they can't fucking walk.
It's...
Here's okay.
To add to what he's saying, when you're running the job, you set the pace. You lead by example. If you're the guy running the job and you show up late, what do you think the rest of the guys are going to do? They're going to follow you. Well, you got away with it, so I'm going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So you just have to set the pace. And like he said, to me, if I had a guy that showed up late, okay, I give him a pass. Maybe something happened. I get it. But the next time, here, go sit in the corner here. You're off the clock for an hour till you get here, till the hour starts or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I always make the joke, you hit the guy in the pocketbook. That's the only way he's going to pay attention to you.
Right.
You start docking him hours or whatever. And, I always tell guys this, I had 2 kids. I don't need any more kids on the job site to babysit. Either you come here to work or you don't. It doesn't matter to me. I got to get this done. Like Carl said, when you're a foreman, you have a plan and you're rolling along. You got to stay 2, 3, 4, whatever, how many days ahead of the guys.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody jams it up and you need them, it hurts. It's like,
right.
They need to realize that.
Right.
And it's cost as well.
Right.
So now I'm having to finish this job, and okay, now we're working overtime. So now I'm gonna have to pay everybody extra money because this guy didn't show up or this guy was late.
Right.
And they don't understand that, but I have a higher power to explain myself to, and
it's a trickle down effect.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's a trickle down effect, and people don't understand that even the smallest guy on the job, the cheapest guy on the job, is valuable.
Right.
You know what I mean? The truck drivers, everybody's valuable. The truck driver, if he's not there on time, he's slowing your day down. It's a trickle down effect.
Exactly what's crazy is it could be something as being 30 seconds late. The guy that's late, if he cares at all, it ruins your whole day because you're constantly going, fuck, man, you know what I mean? Especially, like you said, if a guy doesn't care, then he doesn't care. But if a guy's like, damn it, like I didn't, like I overslept again or whatever it is, and then you'll work. Like for me, I'll work hard, but the whole day I'm just pissed about that morning. You know what I mean? And so it ruins your whole day. And I've noticed that literally 5 minutes makes my whole day better. It's crazy. Another thing that's crazy is I was doing a review because I'm coming to the end of my apprenticeship, so I had to do a test. It was like a cumulative, right? So it was like a bunch of stuff from everything. So I was renewing all these not renewing, but I was reviewing all these workbooks that I had done over the last 5 years, right? And it was like orientation, like where you get the first stuff where it's like the history of your union and a bunch of stuff like that. And there was a question, and it was like, hey, why did you join the apprenticeship? Just something simple like that. And I read and this was when I was, when you're first starting, you're like, oh my gosh, they're going to read this and like they're really going to care. Like you're already in, you know what I mean? And so I read it, and I remember thinking I got every single thing I wanted out of it, But a thing that I didn't expect is, and what I've learned is, okay, I wanted more, right? And so everything I wrote was, and I wrote it totally like if it was a, like a job interview, because like I said, I thought they were going to read it. And it was something along the lines of, I'm really excited to get into the trade because I really respect people that can work with their hands and they can make things happen with their hands and craftsmanship and things like that. And I've always wanted, and I really respect that. And it was big because I was 21 and I was consumed by having a career job. I worked at Party City and Pizza Hut and done bullshit jobs where the whole time you're there, I was always fighting on those jobs to not say shit like, well, dude, this job's bullshit anyways, because the woman that's standing right there, like, that's her career. You know what I mean? So you just have to, like, not say that kind of stuff. But I was so ready to have a career job, air quotes, of like, this is where I'm at. And this is the thing that I've learned is I was ready to have a job where every day I'm passionate and driven to better myself at that, because I don't want a job where you're not passionate about it. Because you go there for the whole entire day pretty much. You commute there, commute back. It's like 12 hours, right? And so you do that, and if you're not passionate about it, it's literally just a timeout until you get to what you're passionate to. And when you, like you said, when you go there, even if a guy works really, really well, but he's not passionate about it, he's stunting his growth. You know what I mean? And you know exactly, like you guys are obviously, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you guys enjoy the job, and you quickly, especially Carl, quickly rose through the ranks. That doesn't just happen without passion. And I think what you're talking about is being driven and motivation. I think the root of that is passion, right? Because if you're not passionate about it, you're not going to be motivated.
Well, it's not only work, that's just life.
Right, totally. So, yeah, that's one of the things I've learned about it is like I wanted to be able to work with my hands. And I wanted the career job, and I've got it. And I've got money coming in, and I'm making the most I've ever made, and blah, 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 blah.
Well, you have to, because, I don't know what somebody's career is. Like, I got, 35 years I think I'm coming up on now.
Mm-hmm.
But however long you work, you have to. That's what gets you up every day through the good times and bad, to keep moving on and to provide for your family or whatever goal it is or whatever thing it is that you want to do. You have to have that. Otherwise, like I always joke with guys at work, I says, last time I looked at the dictionary, there wasn't a picture of the word work and some guy going thumbs up. Yeah, like this is it.
Right.
Nobody wants to work. It's a necessity, but you shouldn't.
We didn't Instagram our way to work.
Yeah.
We
Snapchat,
we
whatever.
Take pictures all day long.
Yeah.
We weren't FaceTiming our friends at work.
And that's another thing for you young guys. Just a little tip. We did all the shit you guys are doing. We just didn't take pictures of it, all right? We were a little bit smarter about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys got to understand, because there are some stupid people out there.
Yeah.
I have guys who like that worked for me, who were friends with my wife, because I have zero social media. I don't want any part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you want to know what I'm doing, you call me. Okay. And I don't even like the fact that I have to carry a phone all day.
Right.
But these guys would send pictures of them on the weekend smoking pot. They would send, pictures fucking off at work doing nothing,
Mm-hmm.
and Snapchat that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, social media, there's big companies, that's what they have, or people that go through for all day long and go figure out your past. Am I going to hire this guy, Steven? Oh, hold on a minute. Oh, he's got a podcast. Well, let's listen to this podcast.
It's not doing very well.
Steven's late all the time, 1 minute or 5 minutes,
And he ratted on his boss.
Yeah, then he just ratted on his boss. I sure as hell ain't hiring that guy. It's
team player.
It's a big deal. You know what I mean?
Right.
Something you did as a joke, when you were younger, could come back to haunt you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Obviously, you're seeing that with all of our politicians and
Mm-hmm.
everybody else.
Right.
It's a different world now.
It is.
And I'm not saying it's better by any means.
Mm-hmm.
It's more advanced.
Right.
But
There's positives and negatives to everything.
I don't know about you guys, but when we were in high school, what was that book you had to read? George Orwell, 1984, Big Brother's Watching You?
Really?
He is.
Yeah.
It is. There's cameras everywhere. You can't do anything.
Right.
And the bad part about it is, like one dumb little decision can ruin everything you did.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you start working for some of these bigger companies that are out there.
Right.
Mora Meadows of this world and all these big high dollar companies that
Right.
have, like, for your luck, you know, that's who you're working for, Morrow?
No, right now I'm working for a company called Neil, and to be honest with you, their LA
Don't
division.
say anything bad about them.
Yeah, watch what you say. You're on
be
camera.
careful.
No, I'm saying their LA division kicks ass because I'm on it. That's what you gotta let me finish, Carl. All right,
Yeah, guys, just try to
a
save
man in your
job.
position when it's
Did you get that, Mr. Neil?
Right.
yeah, no, yeah,
I'll be sending him the link later.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
we're good. I know him personally.
yeah, it's all right.
No, but I mean, you guys got to understand that, and even the insurance companies and things like that, you know, they're looking at things. You know, I mean, and it, you know, and the dumbest things could happen. One of our guys the other day, walked into the gang box, walked through the mud puddle, broke his ankle.
That happened.
Yeah, it happened.
Hmm.
You know, and so then, you know, we're sitting in a meeting having a conversation on how this guy broke his ankle, and they're like, you know, well, why didn't somebody grab the forklift and move the game box? You know, and it's like, well, you know, we walk through mud, you know, puddles all day long. You know, it's been raining like crazy. You know, a little tiny puddle, nobody thinks nothing.
Right,
There was a hole there, and he stepped in it wrong, broke his ankle. Dumb luck.
right.
You know, oh, how could we been safer? Really? We're walking to the game box. I mean,
Yeah,
You know,
Overanalyzing it.
was he paying attention? Obviously not.
Mhm.
Was it unsafe to walk through a 3-inch puddle of water? Apparently so.
Yeah,
But in the same sentence, though, is, you know, it's a workman's comp claim,
right.
or, you know, we put him on light duty or whatever we had to do. But
It's time and energy wasted.
for everybody.
Right.
You know, there was a panel of probably 12 or 15 of us sitting in a room making pretty decent money, talking about how one guy walking to the game box broke his ankle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and same thing that goes up on our insurance. You know, and we're trying to keep that low so we can get these refinery jobs and all these high dollar jobs all over the place.
Right.
And like I say, that it's just a different world.